What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV Podcast, Serious Gentleman Gaming Podcast, brought to you by ASOTV Podcast, for virtual reality games. Is virtual reality the future of gaming? I'm your host, Zista. With me, my co-host, Lildren, a.k.a. Mike.
Hi.
And John, a.k.a. John.
Hi. I'm John.
Yeah, that face, Mike. Wraith Faye in chat, that face, Mike.
He has a face, allegedly.
Allegedly. You can't prove anything. You can't prove nothing.
So how are you guys tonight?
Good.
I'm forgetting how to speak, apparently.
I exist in 3 dimensions, so that's a good start.
That is a good start. But not everything we need for virtual reality. The 3D is not necessarily virtual reality.
No.
I mean, Nintendo learned that the hard way when they're the first ones to kind of start the VR assault, and they started way too early.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Way too early.
The technology was not prepared.
No.
Cool idea.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about the Virtual Boy. This console was released in 1995.
Oh god, it was that. Wow.
It was that long ago.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing like those 2 little goggle things that like jammed over your eyeballs.
See, I wanted one. And my mother would not let me have one, and I remember going into Sears all the time, and they had one on display set up at the counter, the electronics counter or whatever, and every time we went to Sears, that's where I'd go. I'd beeline it right to the Virtual Boy, and I'd play Virtual Boy the entire time she was shopping. I didn't care who else wanted to play. I played it the entire time.
Screw them. I didn't have one, but my neighbor had one. And I got to use it, and I think I'm one of the few people on the planet who did, but oh my god, I remember just hating it because it just gave me such bad headaches. It was so... and my eyes hurt, and it was... the only game he had was like Mario Clash, I think it was called. That was like the shell throwing one.
Yeah, that was basically the only game worth playing on that, to be completely honest.
It was the worst. It was like... and he
was
threw it out. Like, he
experiment.
just, like, literally just took it and chucked it in a ditch.
See, that thing is, like, such a history piece now that, like, he probably regrets it at this point.
Could have sold it for a lot of money.
Yeah.
And hurt some other children.
Yeah, Mario Clash and I think Mario Tennis were the only games worth playing for that.
Yeah.
But the big problem, like you said, John, was the dizziness, the nausea, the headaches that this console would. It didn't help that the entire console was red lines. It's like vectors, It's awful.
But that was all they can do in such a miniature package. If they, wanted anything better at that time, they would have to upscale the size, and then you have, why not wear a football helmet at that point?
Yeah. And the Virtual Boy was the second lowest selling Nintendo console of all time. It sold 22 total games were released across 2 different regions, 19 of which were released in Japan, 14 of which were released in the USA. So, and then there was countless scrap games, at least 15, that never got completed, never finished. And the games to this day have never seen the light of day again. Like, with Nintendo releasing all their virtual console stuff, like, there's been no effort to try to port any of these games to any kind of platform to play now.
Yeah.
So...
I hear now that they're using old Virtual Boys to power the servers for Mario Maker.
Really?
Just got them all wired in.
I mean, I saw a Virtual Boy just recently when we went to the opening for Nintendo New York. the grand reopening, they had Virtual Boy upstairs in a display case. So it's kind of, like I said, it's a museum piece now. And it's funny to look back on that with all this new virtual reality technology coming out. Like, Oculus Rift was the big one, that everybody talking, right? 3 years ago, Facebook bought him out for $2 billion.
Which, good job, guys.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I didn't even know Facebook made $2 billion.
Facebook is like Disney rich. Okay, maybe not Disney rich, but they're really rolling in the money.
Yeah, I realize that now after, they bought, what was it? They bought Snapchat, they bought Instagram, and they bought Oculus. For all of them, billion-dollar investments.
They got the money.
And they were like swimming in Scrooge McDuck levels of money, before they bought all of these.
Yeah. I had no clue, though. I never followed them closely enough to know that. But it's just like... And at the time, I'm sitting there going, okay, all I'm thinking is Virtual Boy. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then you start seeing, like, what the Oculus Rift has planned, and like I've seen all kinds of like indie development where people are doing things like taking the NES Legend of Zelda and porting it into Oculus Rift to make it like a first person Zelda game.
Yeah,
which that would be awesome.
It would be awesome if Nintendo was producing it and it was a full like Twilight Princess HD remastered, first person Zelda,
All right, if Nintendo did that, took the Oculus Rift or, some similar VR technology if they ever wanted to develop it in the future and made a Link to the Past first person version, I would buy the shit out of that. I don't care if it makes me dizzy, gives me headaches or anything. I would still buy the shit out of that.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like all this VR stuff, because they're not the only ones. HTC Vive, Valve, and HTC, have teamed up to come out with that. PlayStation VR is coming out. There's countless other startup ones in the works, and all of this is going on, and Microsoft's just like, we don't really give a shit. We're gonna wait. We're gonna see how it does.
Yeah, I can't say I blame them, really.
Do you think it's a smart move? Because if this hits off, if this is a big thing, they're going to fall back to the wayside and be in the same place Nintendo is right now, where they're struggling to catch up.
Right. I mean, they could be waiting. They could have some minor development going on in the background that they're not, releasing. And... or not, or they're waiting. I don't know. Like, it could go either way at this point. I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks, like, this is just going to be a passing fad when it comes out. Like, yeah, it's going to be great, but it's not going to be that great. And then there's that little, what if? Like, is this the wave of the future? Like, am I going to be using an Oculus Rift for every damn game, by next year?
I don't think every game.
No, definitely not every game. But...
No. See, my only thing right now is that... at least for the Oculus, you need to have a really powerful PC to get it to run.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't. I may be stepping over the line here, but I don't think any of our computers right now could handle it.
Mine certainly can.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think any of the machines that we're running could feasibly do it. So, and we're none of us have like super mega high end machines, but like it takes a lot of horsepower to get them going. Because
not only you have to factor in that you're running the game, but you're actually running the peripheral as well. The computers. Yeah. I know my computer, like I've been playing The Division a lot lately, and my CPU is like sitting at 95% usage, 95 to 100%. There's no way my computer would be able to handle a helmet right now, Oculus Rift. There's no way. Processor will not be able to handle that.
Right.
Can barely handle playing The Division on the lowest graphic settings right now. So
yeah,
I'm just thinking.
So that's I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. the big game coming out that I'm going to be playing that's going to support it is Star Citizen. They've from like very early on they said we're going to offer Oculus Rift support, and at all their conventions and whatever they go to, they have playable demos with it. And I mean, it's basically, you look around and it alters. Like normally, when you go into free look, you look around the cockpit of your ship. Oh, like look out the, if there's glass above you. Oh, I can look out into space. I can look down at my feet and everything. Well, you do that with the Oculus Rift. You look around and see everything. That would make me really sick to my stomach really fast. Yeah. Especially if I'm, playing a dogfighting space simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I have to look, no, not happening.
Well, one of the games that are being developed is being developed for PlayStation VR. Is a game called RIGS, RIGS, and it's a mechanized combat kind of game where you sit in a mech and you fire at people and you run around, and wherever you're looking is where your mech looks. Mm-hmm. So you're literally, and it's compatible with the PlayStation Move. If you remember the glowy, bald things, whatever. Yeah, you hold those like you're holding the sticks, right, with the helmet on. So you're looking and maneuvering with these things, and the camera's picking up on that in conjunction with the VR headset.
Oh yeah.
So
it's like virtual on.
It really feels like you're holding the control sticks too of this thing. So like when you move them, it picks up if they're moving. So it's like, okay, well, you move one hand forward, the game recognizes that, and now you're moving forward. That's how you move in the game.
Yeah.
So it's bringing a little more in conjunction than just VR. That's why the PlayStation VR has me kind of excited. Right?
Yeah, that one, and the good thing is, like, it when you plug it into your system, it will work. You don't have to worry about any kind of technical problems or having the right hardware. Yep. It will just work, and they're even selling a bundle, right, where they give you the headset and the Move controllers, and
the bundle is $399. That is reasonable. Whereas if you're looking at the Oculus Rift, when that comes out, that's $599. That's $600.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this game, and I'm just getting I'm getting a Monday Night Combat feeling from it.
Yeah,
that's all I'm thinking. Especially the logo looks the same, and it looks like these big over-the-top sports arenas. It's Mech Warrior Monday Night Combat.
Yep.
It does look like that. It does look pretty cool. That was honestly when I saw the Oculus, was like, oh man, new big thing. I didn't really get too jazzed about it. But once PlayStation announced their VR, it got me a little more in with the idea, because it just seems a lot more reasonable. And that's the thing, is if you own an Oculus Rift, you don't, what am I going to play the game with the damn controller or my keyboard? It's going to take me right out of the thing, the whole point of the VR.
Yeah.
At least if I'm moving those sticks around, I'm a little more engaged in the magic of it.
The feel of it. It's like going to Disney, right? You go to Disney. Have you guys ever been on or seen the ride Soaring?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a virtual reality headset, but you get into a hang glider. You're in these seats with the hang glider roof over you, and it lifts you up and puts you directly in front of the screen. You feel it, and it moves and everything. If you feel like you're on the ride, you feel like you're in a hang glider. They have wind that blows, air conditioning. They have scents that, you smell salt water, when you fly over oceans. That's the kind of stuff that I'm expecting. I don't expect it to start smelling and blowing things at you, but that's the kind of feel I want. I want to feel like I'm there. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think if I was playing I don't know, Halo or something like that with a controller and a headset, I'm gonna, it's not gonna feel right. It's I'm still holding a damn controller. I might as well just look at the screen.
Yeah.
I just basically took the joysticks out of the equation and spent $600.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what they would have to do is make like a replica gun, for the game that responded to the way you played. That way you're holding what feels like a gun. It doesn't have to be a full gun, but just like something in the shape to keep your hands in that position. Because you're not going to see it anyway, so it doesn't have to look like a gun. It just has to be in the position you would hold your hands.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. See, I have to say, I am a little skeptical of all this stuff right now.
I am too. I'm actually, I kind of agree with Microsoft in this situation where they're just going to sit back and see where it goes, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm not running out to buy this. I don't have any plans to get any of this virtual reality stuff anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, what's next after that?
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision. Those headsets from Sword Art Online that completely immerse you in the game world.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are completely immerse you. You are in the game.
You are literally there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, really, this is something we've been probably fantasizing about since we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like
as a kid,
being in a virtual, putting your head in the world. That's been a cool concept. I yes, the tech is there now. I don't think it's quite where it needs to be to make it more marketable, because like right now it's a very niche sort of thing. It's a very like, I don't want to say elite like it's a bad thing, but it's a really high end product right now, especially if you're going for the Oculus. Not your average Joe Schmo is not going to have it. So the technology is there, but it needs to be able to be made cheaper, I think, to make it more marketable. Like once, if you can cut the Oculus's price in half, or at least down to what the PlayStation VR is going to be.
Well, the PlayStation VR is the starting bundle. This is like a very early bundle, so I think afterwards it's going to go up in price. This is kind of a competitive, like, here you are, like, go with us first kind of deal.
Right. They're trying to pull the Blu-ray HD DVD steal again.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Hey, it worked with HD DVD. That format is dead.
Knocked the crap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're probably hoping to do something similar here. But, I mean, Oculus Rift is going to be, PC support, PlayStation VR for PS4, and going into the future. I mean, they'll be fine. I mean, if it works out, PlayStation will definitely have the leg up over Microsoft and Nintendo in that department. Like, that'll be their thing.
Right. Now, I mean, what do you guys think as far as, like, the games they're going to make? I mean, obviously we have rigs, but, how marketable is a game that, not everybody might be able to play? Like, are they going to have to make games that are, is the game going to be both? Can you play it with a controller normally, or do you need to have the headset,
I mean, that seems like the route that they're going to right now is there's some that are cross-compatible, like Star Wars Battlefront. That they're making Oculus support for that.
So you can shoot inaccurately.
Yes.
In full virtual reality.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be great to look at. And it'll
100%.
be great to look around Hoth and stuff like that. That would be amazing to experience, but I think that's cool.
But I'd have to walk into like a meat freezer if I wanted to get the feel of that game properly.
Right, and that's my thing, is like, is it necessarily better from a gameplay standpoint if you're wearing an Oculus Rift?
See, I feel like it will not immerse me properly. Because it's like, yes, it's going to put your eyes there and like your sound. Yeah, the sound, because it has 3D audio, which, you get the sound from above, below, all around you, whatever. And it's all got controls in the helmet, so if you're looking up, it's not going to continually play it up. Like, it'll play it from eye level if you're looking up, so it's still coming from the same direction. So it's got like a gyroscope kind of sound system, in there. So it's directional depending on how you're looking.
Right.
So Like, that's the thing that has me interested, is it's got just the audio and the video, right? But you're not going to have your full sense of touch. You're not going to have your sense of smell. You know, like...
You don't have that already. I mean...
No, I know, but but the point is, this is trying to immerse you. And it's only partially doing so.
If the 360 3D sound or whatever is good, then that'll immerse you. It'll be more immersive than what you're dealing with now. It's not going to add in any more senses, which is a bummer. But I really, short of taking complete neurological control of your brain, I doubt they're going to be able to pull that off.
And see, that's actually the problem, though, is a lot of these stereoscopic 3D systems have the potential to cause neurological change in your brain patterns. That is one of the biggest health risk concerns of these.
Well, that's just concerning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not good.
Nope.
Like, these things are going to come with do not play in excess of X amount of hours, whatever. Like, you're not going to be able to sit there and play the game for 8 hours at a time. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, what gamer ever heeded those warnings?
Exactly,
right.
But you won't be able to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even play with the 3D on my 3DS, so...
No.
And, I can understand the stereoscopic, stuff causing, visual damage. But, what other neurological changes could they be talking about?
Well, it's altering your perception of the world around you. You're eliminating 2 of your 5 senses. Well, they always say there's more than that, but whatever. You're eliminating 2 of your 5 senses from your world around you, and we use our sight and sound for a lot more than you think. Like, we use it for balance. We use it for interpreting, for sensing danger and all that stuff. Like, we use it for a lot. So, if my hands are on a keyboard and mouse, but my eyes and my ears are in, Snowland of Hoth, what's my mind thinking?
You got
like, I smell my fart that I just did, but
I smell my house
shooting at me.
I smell my house. I taste my house, I guess, if you're even aware of that, and I feel what's going on around me. But I see and hear, stormtroopers and Hoth and TIE fighters and all that fun shit.
Right, and so you do that for long enough, it's gonna. I mean, when you take it off, I can't imagine you're just like, cool, headset's up. I'm gonna go get some lunch. You're gonna need like a minute to adjust to the world around you again.
Yeah.
And people will be playing with the volume up high enough that they won't hear anything, and then someone will just walk up next to them and touch them on the shoulder, and
that'd scare the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'll be the next.
I would try to turn and shoot them with my gun.
That'll be the next fad on YouTube. Scaring Oculus Rift players, like jump scaring them, walking up behind them.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's not just the dangers of like somebody coming up and scaring you. Like, what if somebody broke into your house?
What if your house is on fire, and
you'll smell it.
Hopefully you'll smell it. Hopefully you'll feel, the gentle caress of, 700 degrees of heat. But, I mean, things like that. What if they're like...
You're not going to be able to play this if you have a toddler around and you're supposed to be, like, watching the kid. Like, there's so many dangers with this thing.
Take the headset
that's ridiculous.
Off. The walls will be 6 different colors, painted with crayons and markers and actual paint. There'll be poop in the middle of the living room, and the cat will have no hair left.
You've heard about the couple that left their kid unattended while they played World of Warcraft for hours at an end. Yeah. Can you imagine somebody doing this with the headset on that's just not paying any attention whatsoever? At least with a headset on and a monitor, you have your peripheral vision. If somebody comes in, you see it. If something's moving, whatever, you could tell. But with this thing on, you're not going to know anything that's going on anywhere near you.
And that is going to be the reason I don't ever get one or use it. Because, if you look at my right ear, you see how my headset is? It is tilted back. It's actually on my ear, not completely over it. Because these cancel out all noise, and I really don't like that at all. like completely immersing, my auditory senses in whatever I'm doing, game, music, whatever, and cutting out like my perception of the room around me sound wise really creeps me the hell out. So like I want to be able to hear someone, calling me or walking down the stairs or like sneaking up behind me or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like that.
Yeah. I just it's like, it's one thing if you're protecting your hearing. Obviously if you're playing instruments or at a concert or something, you want to protect your hearing and cancel noise out. But like, if I'm playing it, like you said, if I'm playing a video game, I kind of want to know, like, if someone's calling me downstairs, dinner's ready, buddy. Like, I would like to know.
And that's why I loved my old headset, because they were open, like they were big, earphone cans, but they were open on the backing, so you could actually hear sound around you if someone was talking to you.
Yeah.
Although Sev brings up a good point, porn.
Ooh, fully immersed in porn?
Dude, I'm not kidding. It launched, apparently. Like, there's Oculus porn out there where you can, like, apparently look around the room as there's people fucking in front of you.
You can be the pizza man.
You can be the plumber and the pizza man, yes. So there's that boon to society.
See, and I thought games have gotten disturbing when I just witnessed a picture of a proctologist simulator.
Yeah.
I almost lost when I just drank.
I can't wait for the, Oculus Rift game gynecologist to come out. It's gonna be a good one.
Especially if they come up with a fully tactile controller, like, experience a prostate exam.
In 3D! Oh, God. This could get dark.
It could, but, like, the thing that has me more worried about the implications of just the personal isolation is the social aspect is even further gone. Most games have already eliminated, like, couch multiplayer,
which depresses me.
But now, like, factor in if this goes beyond just gaming. Say this goes to TV and movies. You're all going to be sitting next to each other in a room where you can't see each other? I'm waiting. Like, YouTube has just started doing the what is the cheap version? They have the cardboard box you slide your phone into.
It's Google Cardboard, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they started doing the app. You can, like, the only video that I could recall right now off the top of my head is go look up Fort Minor's new song, their newest song. I don't even remember the name of it. I don't know. But the video shot in 3D. And if you watch it on your phone, wherever you move is where your phone, like, you see that camera position. Now imagine watching a movie where the whole movie is shot in 3D. 360 degree, I should say. 360 degree, whatever. You put on a headset and watching the movie, you could turn and look at anything you want. If VR continues to go this way, that will happen.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
that will be really cool, but just think of the implication of sitting there and now you're watching a movie, you have 4 people watching the movie, you all have to have these headsets on. You can't see anybody in the room. You're not going to be able to talk to anybody. You're going to have a party and you guys are going to go watch this movie or something, and, like, nobody's going to talk to each other, nobody's going to see each other. Like, it just seems really weird to me.
It's sad. It's a weird state of affairs. It's like you're not experiencing someone's, like, because part of the fun of watching a movie with friends is also experiencing their reactions to what's going on as well. So
yeah,
you're right. It's weird. I don't think it'll, like, but that's the thing is, like, I don't know if it'll get that far if that's the case, because
it's heading that direction. I can't say that it won't happen, because I 100% think it will happen, but I don't think it'll be mainstream. Like the curved TVs. That's never going to hit it off. They've already, like, said those things are horrible. Right?
Yeah.
But guess what? They're on the market. People are buying them.
They're on the market, but the thing with curved TVs and the way optics work, and this is me going back to high school physics here, like, the curved TV is only going to work for one single viewer sitting at the exact focal point,
right,
of that
but
television. Like, they're going to get the full experience.
Right. It's just my point of it's a shitty product and it's on the market and people are buying it. So VR, which has the potential to not be as shitty, is something that's hitting the market, and everybody's going to take advantage of that.
Right.
Not just games.
Yeah.
My wife in chat says Sword Art Online has ruined VR for her, and as I mentioned before, that is the next step. Full immersion. You are in the game. You are the character.
But
I mean, take this. I can think of one game right now that none of you here would disagree would be fucking phenomenal on VR. Silent Hills PT.
No. Yes, I agree with you 100%. No.
I believe
a bucket of no.
The fan version of that, what's it called again? Abbey something.
Abbey Road? Abbey Roads?
It's the Beatles album. I don't know. Never mind. Whatever it's called. I do believe it's supposed to have Oculus Rift support. So, have fun with that.
Silent Hill, any kind of game like that set in, VR with like full visual and sound, immersion. Oh.
Not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those games already make me want to poop.
Weekends also brought up another interesting point, like people with neurological issues, people have epilepsy and stuff like that. Like, I personally, I have an astigmatism in my eye.
Mm-hmm.
So I automatically can't use this. It'll never work for me. The games do not correct for an astigmatism, which is when like your vision kind of shifts out of focus. You have to blink to kind of reset and get it straightened out again.
Mm-hmm.
Glasses can sort of correct it, but it doesn't fix it. It can help.
Right.
But like if you have an astigmatism, you're already out. If you have epilepsy, gone.
More than likely, you're
probably not going to be able to play it.
Yeah.
So, there's a number of forms of epilepsy, but yeah, the two big ones are you're out.
Right, and not to mention other, just
what about me?
Glasses.
I have motion sickness. I have really bad motion sickness.
So you're done.
I
mean, if you have glasses, sometimes, I mean, if the headset fits over your glasses, great, but I don't know how comfortable that's going to be for extended play, And again, is this even built for extended play? Like we were saying before, this is potentially dangerous to play for long periods of time. So, like, if you're playing Star Citizen, Mike, are you really going to want to stop after 20 minutes and then take an hour break? No.
I wouldn't say 20 minutes or so, but even so, like an hour. I think an hour max is about what you would be able to get out of that. But no, you're not going to want to stop playing a game like that for an hour.
No, not at all.
Like, Nintendo's already like, you should take a break from playing your game. It's like, fuck you, Nintendo. I do what I want.
Nintendo, I wish I could turn that off. Like, the one that bothers me the most is Super Mario 3D World. Like, after every world, every level you finish, it's like, you should shut your game off and take a break. I'm like, no. Thank you, though.
I will not, sir.
So, like, I don't know.
I forgot what game it was. There was a game that, like, it would pop up after a level and be like, you've been playing for a long time. Why don't you take a break? And it would pop up after an hour. I forget what game that was.
Pick a Nintendo game. It's almost any of them.
Yeah. No, I want to say it was a PlayStation game, but you know what?
It seems like a lot of the PlayStation games that are coming out for the VR are all, like, puzzle-type games. Like, they have Super Hypercube, which is just, like, vector puzzles.
Super Hypercube.
Yeah. And, I don't know, there's like, Wayward Sky, which is a more, like, artsy-looking, cartoony kind of game. That it's a puzzle game where you're trying to find your father on a flying fortress, and it seems cool. I like it. But the one that's got me the most interested is a game called Until Dawn: Rush of Blood, where you sit in a roller coaster car with guns. Think of it as a rail shooter. It is literally like going into like a horror roller coaster ride with like clowns running up at you and everything, but you have guns to shoot, and it's got multiple different paths and stuff you could take, and you compete for high scores. That seems like really fun. That seems like a ride that they could stick in like Disney World, and Disney would be able to pull that off. You know, not that Disney does the horror stuff, but you know, like turn it to like they already have the
Buzz Lightyear ride.
Yeah, the Buzz Lightyear thing. You go on that and you shoot and throw things at the army men and darts, and I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. And I mean, if you go to Universal, they have the Men in Black ride, which is pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the one game that seems more interesting for me. But I feel home virtual reality is not going to be a thing. What I wish still existed to a degree of like use is arcades. Right? I feel virtual reality would be perfect for the arcade settings, because then you're forced to not sit there for long periods of time. You're getting it in the short bursts that you need to get it into. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but I also think like that style of game is really good, like a rail sort of game.
Yeah.
Where it's a guided tour sort of thing, and you're just, you know, moving around and shooting your gun. I think that's probably the best format, because I feel like that it will at least immerse you the most, because at that point, you know, you at least are just like maybe clicking a button to shoot. You're mostly controlling the game with your head and looking. So I think that makes the most sense to me.
That out of all of them is the one that intrigues me the most. Like, more than the MechWarrior style game, like more than anything else that they're putting in there. Like, even the puzzle games. Like, I would love to play a VR version of Myst, like from back in the day. Like, that's another game that screams VR. Like, it would be great.
That game would be pretty awesome, yeah. I'm just thinking of I've been going through all the rail shooters I've played in the past, and like, it seems like that would be the easiest game to adapt, because, you know, just removes a lot of the control complexity. Or like, because I'm thinking, you know, we mentioned Halo before. I'm like, all right, how the hell does that work? Like, what's the point of a VR mask? Like, okay, so you have the one stick to move, the other stick to aim, and what? Your head, you know, moves free look independent of your aim? How the hell are they going to get that to work?
Right, yeah. I would think something even like Panzer Dragoon you could probably pull off, like, with VR, you know. It would be maybe a little bit different, but like still, you could look around, shoot your gun over there while your dragon shoots like in front of it or something like that. Like, you know, that could be, you know, pretty cool like that. But
it'd be very easy to, you know, adapt that, I think.
Yeah, and yeah, like Dom said, Myst. I think even the Telos principle could feasibly be done. You know, if you could, you know, using like the PlayStation Move or something like that, where you could like grab. You know, grab the objects that you're picking up and moving them around in the world. Like, that could work. There's...
And I'm laughing because I'm thinking the first time those things, you know, those moves came out, I'm like, oh, those things look fucking ridiculous.
Oh, they are, but, you know.
And now I'm imagining, like, a future where I'd be using two of them.
And just raving along.
I mean, they are ridiculous, but, like, it's no different than using the Wii remotes. That's essentially what it is. It's a Wii remote.
You're right.
It's a Wii remote with the ice cream cone on top.
And I did originally think the Wii remote was a little ridiculous, but then I used one.
And it's actually more sensitive than the Wii remote. Like, because of the light, it's able to track it in the camera and all that. And it's able to do it better than even the Wii Remote Plus.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But like, with the rumors of Nintendo NX coming out, like, they're pouring rumors and stuff out of the woodworks, because we're like 2 to 3 months off from an announcement, right? We're really close, and the rumors are stating right now that the system's going to be more powerful than the PS4, and we already know that from a technological standpoint, the PS4 is more powerful than the Xbox One. So with the Nintendo NX coming out, if it is more powerful than the PS4, it's currently the most powerful home console on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo loves their gimmicks. Do you think VR is a possibility for them?
I'm a little out of the loop with the NX right now. Isn't their gimmick going to be the controller with the screen in it, like, more so than
going to be multiple. The from what has been going around with the NX is it's going to be like a device that houses other devices that all work simultaneously as like a combined thing. So like think of like a touchpad and a controller and like a 3DS that you could take on the go with you and continue to play your game. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think I could see them doing it, but they're going to do it like the Nintendo way. So
they'll do it the Nintendo way, in which it will be the family-friendly and fun way that doesn't cause your eyeballs to fall out of your head.
Right, and that's my thing is that, they're very, very conscious of that sort of thing. Like, they even made the 2DS for kids because the 3D you're not really supposed to use if you're young. They made, like, the 2DS. It has no 3D, but you still play DS games on it. So I feel like once the technology has settled, I think they would be open to it, but like I said, they're going to do it their way and make it. I could see them making it a little bit less immersive at the expense of just keeping safety concerns as a priority.
I mean, that was like they came out with the Wii, and they underestimated, the strength. Actually, they overestimated the strength of the straps for the Wiimotes.
Yes,
and realized that the straps were failing, and they were like, oh shit, like we thought we thought we had this handled, and then all of a sudden the new and improved Wiimote straps come out that are like made of iron practically.
And then the Wii remote condoms, I like to call them, those big rubber sons of bitches that you're supposed to wrap around.
Yeah, it's like they're very conscious, they're very quick to fix those safety issues.
I feel like they're going to be very skeptical to jump into VR again after their major fail with the Virtual Boy.
Again, that is true. That is something.
20 years of technology, though.
But Nintendo's they're
odd.
Very slow like that.
You saw like what happened. So like I mentioned that the Virtual Boy was the second worst selling system. The first one was the 64DD, the add-on, the disc drive for Nintendo 64. Right. It actually only got released in Japan. It was canceled in the US because it failed so miserably in Japan. But the thing it did CD drives that were rewritable and stuff like that. And you saw right after the 64, instead of going to a full disc drive like thing, they went to the GameCube and went to the mini disc because they were so skeptical of jumping into a full CD drive after their failure with the DD. So for Nintendo to go back to virtual reality, it's going to have to be in the right place. And it's going to... You look at the Wii, like the Wii U, I should say. And Wii U, though it has the sales, though it has the games, it's kind of been regarded to gamers as a failure, right? And if the Nintendo Wii, or the Wii U, I should say, if it launched with a game like Mario Maker to show the full potential of the tablet, where you're like, you need this tablet to play the game. This is why you need a tablet for the Wii U. That would have revolutionized and changed all future games coming out for it. But instead, they came out with new Super Mario U, whatever, which was basically new Mario Brothers that was out on the Wii, the regular Wii. There was not much different. There was like a mode where you could just tap the screen and add some blocks and stuff like that. And it's like, you're not really showing people what the system is capable of. So a lot of that is going to bank on the software, right, that comes out for the launch of it. And right now, everything that I'm seeing that's coming out for the VR does not have me excited, with the exception of the rail shooter, the Until Dawn Rush of Blood. Like, that game to me looks phenomenal, right? The concept of it is phenomenal. The Riggs combat game, the mech combat game, does not have me excited at all, because I feel like with my motion sickness, I'm gonna throw up. I don't even want to try it. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, it just seems gimmicky and stuff like that. I mean, for what you were talking about with the Wii U, that was an example of the technology being ahead of, like, the software. Because as you mentioned, if Mario Maker would have came out, it probably would have been, sold phenomenally better. But I guess like when that came out, people, game developers and programmers weren't exactly sure 100% how to implement that gamepad.
Yeah.
Like I played the Wii version of Monster Hunter Tri, or Monster Hunter 3, whatever, and then I have the version for Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the Wii U, and they integrated the gamepad really nicely to that. They like took all of the clunkiness out of the UI for the Wii version, and they consolidated it onto the gamepad. And it's, I mean, really great job, I gotta say. But like stuff like that wasn't around, I guess I should say, when the Wii U launched, and I'm very sad about that.
And it really comes down to what the developers are willing to do to go to that extra. Like, you look at, even go back as far as the Dreamcast. Like, my favorite thing about the Dreamcast was the memory card that you would plug into the thing, had the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That was my favorite part of it, but it was also the most hated part because, A, I never got one, because I was an idiot, and some games required it for certain mini-games.
Well, yeah, you needed a memory card to save your progress. There was no saving onto the console. That wasn't a thing.
Right, well, I got a memory card that didn't have the screen, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there was that was the VMU. That was a special one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. But, like, you played Resident Evil, right? And the health meter, your health status was on the memory card. Like, you could just look down at your controller and you'd be like, okay, wow, okay, this is how much health I have. It's good, bad, whatever. The only other way to get that to come up in the game is to pause the game. Right? I didn't like that. I liked being able to look down the controller. So any Resident Evil games came out, I bought them all on Dreamcast. Dino Crisis was the same way. Like, I bought all that stuff for Dreamcast. I loved the way that was set up. If Nintendo had done that kind of stuff right off the bat, with Mario Maker, and been like, here is why you need a Wii U, I think every game that came out would have been different. They would have realized how you can integrate the controller a lot better into games. And that's what I mean. Like, this, the VR coming out, you got to come out with the right games to showcase what this is. Because if you come out with games that are like the Virtual Boy Vector games, like one of PlayStation's launch titles is a vector puzzle game. Like, you can't do that. That's not convincing me to buy it.
It's, yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's probably too soon to buy into it if you were planning on it. Give it a few years. The price will come down, the technology will get more refined, people will figure out what to do with the software. It's just, I think it could be a part of the future of gaming, but it's going to take a little time to kind of hammer out details, because this is all weird new territory. And honestly, like, people are, I think, assuming that game developers know exactly what to do with this.
Yeah.
And they don't. They really don't.
A lot of them don't. I mean, most of it is just cool, gimmicky integration into game that's already being developed a different way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't plan on getting one at launch. I don't plan on getting one anytime soon. If somebody I know owns one, I will highly recommend them to get the PlayStation version, so I could play that game, the rail shooter. Like, that seems phenomenal. That's the only game that piques my interest right now. Even a game like, Star Citizen or whatever, that doesn't interest me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drop at this point another $600 on a peripheral that I'm probably never gonna use. Like, $600, I'll drop that on actual hardware upgrades for my computer.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm gonna spend that on, something computer related, it's gonna be actual hardware.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to your disposable income. If you have $600 to just throw at something, yeah, sure, get one, have fun. Who cares? But if you don't, then...
And I'm curious from a streamer aspect, like, are these VR games going to also be displayed on the TV? Are they going to be displayed, like, whatever's showing up in the headset? So if you have friends over, like, they're not watching you stand in a room and spin in a circle?
I would certainly hope so. Because I guess we can go back to Nintendo for a sec, because, like, what they're doing with the new Star Fox is, like, you have the cockpit in the gamepad, and then the people can see the world around you outside of your ship on the TV.
Right.
So at least they can see, they can even help you, really. Like, hey, dude, there's a guy on your tail. You might not see it.
Yep.
I mean, that's I would certainly goddamn hope so. Because you will look ridiculous if you're sitting in front of a black screen, just like, they're all around me, man.
Yeah. You know, so...
I would love it. Don't get me wrong.
I'd love to watch, you know, yeah. But, like, from a streamer aspect, too, because, like, if you're streaming the game, you won't be able to stream the game on Twitch or whatever, because the Oculus Rift isn't going to have, like, Twitch support. I don't think it would. It might, but, you know, like... You need a screen to play it off of, a static screen anyway. Like, you know, I mean, it's possible that the Oculus Rift would have some way to import into like XSplit or OBS or something like that to be able to stream off of. But most people are using a capture card through like their PlayStation or, you know, like, or what if they're just streaming straight from the PlayStation, right?
I mean, you're not seeing chat, I'll tell you that much.
No. I mean, they would have to develop, you know, something for the PlayStation where, you know, you could have the chat in like the corner of the screen and watch it. Like, they could do that because look, Google Glass was trying to do something like that,
right?
You know, and then didn't they just take Google Glass off the market? That's not even coming out now.
You can get it. I mean,
I thought it got canceled.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, Glass. I think they get it's going back into development. Is what I think they're basically doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, if you guys really want cheap 3D, Google Cardboard's about $15.
I can just hold my phone and spin around the room and I'll be fine.
You do that too.
But
that's like the best VR in the world. You could literally make it. You just need some PVC and
Optiplex and chat is laughing at us, Google Glass. It's just, yeah, no, it's a joke. Like, I was kind of excited for Google Glass, not for any practical use. Like, I really wasn't. Like, it was something that I wanted to see where it went. I was excited from a observer's point of view. I was not going to buy one, by any means. I had no intention. But, like, the way they were talking, it's like, oh, you could pull up a subway map in New York City and have it in the corner, whatever. So you're seeing it. That's something helpful. Like that is something I could see people using all the time. Pull up a street map, road maps, anything. That's the kind of stuff that's useful. But like reading a text message and like that's
no. I mean, no.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is that yes, it's convenient, yes, it's cool, but like, is the human mind ready for that sort of thing? And like. Actually, like they're saying in chat, like, do we need a camera on this thing? No. It's, bad enough security concerns as it is, recording in HD on my friggin' glasses that no one can see. And, that's weird.
That brings, like, going to concerts and everything so much more, like, difficult because you're not supposed to be filming in those things anyway.
But you can't take someone's glasses away from them.
Yeah.
It might be a prescription Google Glass. But, yeah, I guess, that's getting into, like, a whole other thing. Like, is that VR? Is it, like, that's AR, technically.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's kind of the same concept.
It's kind of the same, like Pokemon Go, which we'll be talking about next week. Same idea.
I gotta go with Savannah in chat right now. So many people would get hit by cars using Google Glass. People get hit by cars texting and walking nowadays.
I want all this VR helmets and stuff coming out. I want them all wireless, and I want people to have to walk to advance further in their games.
It'd be a good gimmick to get people to exercise.
And I want people to walk out into streets. I'm kidding. Yeah. No, but like, I don't know. I personally don't see it. I don't see it's cool. It's a cool gimmick, but it's like the Nintendo Wii controller all over again.
Right. And I have to agree with what you said about 5 minutes ago, Dom. If someone I know owns one, I will give it a shot. Mm-hmm. But I am not lining up. I'm not pre-ordering. I'm not going crazy. Like, oh my god, the Oculus Rift. Where's my $600? Like,
yeah. It's a little embarrassing that like, if you like turn on Steam right now and go to the store page, it's like, buy the Vive! No. I don't even know what the freak this thing is. Like, please
Steam,
don't.
You take enough of my money. Stop it.
It's the same thing as like Nintendo, like showing, like trying to show what the 3DS can do, and you really can't until you try it. You can't see what a 3DS's 3D looks like, and if you're gonna like it unless you see it. Like if they're gonna do this, they need to have demos for these things set up everywhere. You know, like every Best Buy or whatever needs a demo stand for this, because you just will not sell them. I don't know what it's like.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's not like I go to
$600.
tech shows.
Right.
Like I'm not dropping $600 on something I've never touched before. I don't go to tech shows. I don't know what the hell this thing is. Like I said before, I have an astigmatism. Like, I don't even know I can use the damn thing.
Yeah.
So, there's no way in hell.
Yeah, I have a very minor astigmatism, so I'm kind of in the same boat, John.
Like, how do I know that this thing isn't going to give me, when I take it off, give me auditory hallucinations, afterward? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I want to see... I want to see Mike use the VR helmet on cold medication.
Oh, that sounds dangerous.
Inside joke, Canadian cold medicine especially, but certain cold medicines, when I fall asleep, cause me to talk in my sleep crazily.
About mercurial turkeys and all kinds of things.
We have to stop the turkeys who are from the planet Mercury from building their pillow forts and assaulting us with their pillow cannons. Was it pillow cannons? I don't remember.
That sounds about right.
My wife would remember.
Yeah.
Because I woke up out of a dead sleep, rolled over to her, and said this exact thing to her face. Like, we have to stop the turkeys!
Yeah.
Canadian cold drugs. Over the counter. They don't fuck around.
No. And it's like, so John, you mentioned the 3DS and stuff that you can't see the 3D. I have my 3DS right here, right? Mm-hmm. You can't really see the screen very clear as it is, but that's in 2D. But here, oh look, where's the button?
On the screen.
There it is. Now it's in 3D. You can't tell. Like, no matter what I do to this, it's not going to give you any kind of perception. Like, you're not going to ever see that on camera. You have to be physically in person to see this. Yeah. I saw it I remember the first time I saw this, I went to GameStop and I pulled this up and I was like, holy shit. And I was like, it actually works. And I was like, that's fantastic. I don't have to wear 3D glasses. I'm like, that's really cool. Okay, now it's giving me a headache. I don't want to play it anymore. And it took me forever to get a 3DS. I bought the Zelda one, the Link Between Worlds. That's what finally convinced me to get one.
Respectable choice.
But, it's all about the gimmick. It's all about the games. And if the game outweighs the gimmick is what this is going to come down to. Right.
And the most important thing is, funny enough, frame rate in these games.
Well, because the PlayStation VR is going to run up to 120 frames a second.
And the thing is, it has to, because if it runs low, you'll get real quick. You'll get super, super barfy.
But there's even rumors that the current PlayStations aren't even able to properly play some of these games.
That doesn't surprise me.
All the ones coming out for launch are okay, but the rumor is why the games aren't going so crazy graphically is because the PlayStation can't handle it.
No, it takes a lot of power to send all that info to a VR helmet, and that's the thing. It's like you can't really have frame drops in that kind of environment, because if I move my head like this, the world needs to keep up with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because oh boy.
Or you're gonna get really disoriented, possibly ill.
That's why there's been a lot of rumors too about a PlayStation 4.5 coming out, which has souped up tech to compensate for the VR helmets and stuff like that. So
right, that news has been coming around. So
PlayStation 4 VR edition, oh boy.
Right, something like that. It's again, this is all part of the learning curve that they need to. The developers of this need to work with, because it's going to be tricky.
Right. And again, new technology.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yep. You guys have anything else you'd like to toss into the mix?
No. I feel like we've talked it all. Like, we're bringing up a couple of previous points now at this,
Yeah.
At this time.
Yeah. I think we're pretty much talking this one to death.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mike, where can the people find you?
On Twitter, Twitch, and various places at Philodrin. Right there. I'm over here tonight. There we go. Other way.
Excellent.
Not too far.
John, where can the people find you?
You can find me over the... I don't know.
Up there?
Up there.
Yeah.
In Dom's chest. At No More on Twitter.
You can find me right there. At XIZTA, there's right there, there's an underscore. A little tiny underscore right there. You can also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and YouTube /ASOTV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies, as well as for the time being here on twitch.tv/SeriousGents. That's our show. Next week we'll be discussing Nintendo's rise in mobile gaming. So, Pokemon Shuffle, Pokemon Go, as well as a few other mobile games. What's it coming out next week? Miitomo?
Yep.
So.
I never knew I wanted to go to Antarctica yet. Until,
That's not a thing.
I know it's not a thing.
I need my Articuno!
Seriously, I'll go to Antarctica. Can't speak.